Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle. Big
Check it. It's a unique hustle. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
None. You know my day walk on. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us from all social media platforms. When I mean all, I mean our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us on the streets and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we be a part of Boss Talk? This is how you can be a part of Boss Talk. Under each and every interview, including this one right here in the description section below, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, and that's how you can see all the exclusive content. Y'all been asking us, where's this interview, where's that interview? You got to be a member to see it. Thank you in advance, and we love you.
Man, listen, man, we got a special guest in here today who don't need no introduction, man. We down in here in San Antonio, man. It's just like Compton. That's what DJ Quick said. Let's get to it, man. My guy Lil Jay is in the building.
Yo.
What's going on, man? Happy to have you on the show. Miss Jamaica, let's do what we do.
So, Lil Jay, you're born and raised here in San Antonio?
Yep, it's on.
What part?
I would say Northwest side.
Northwest side?
Yep.
So I know nothing about San Antonio except from the Riverwalk and Alamo. That's what everybody always advertise. So for people who don't know anything about San Antonio, what do I need to know about San Antonio? What is it like growing up in San Antonio?
I think it's far-fetched. You would say San Antonio Spurs. Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. Now they know it as Wembyama. So but I think that's what San Antonio is. The Spurs and the Riverwalk. But yeah, this is home, and this is what I'm trying to change and make, Los Angeles, make it, Atlanta. This is home. This is home. This is where I live.
Wow.
Cool. So were you raised in the household with your mom and dad together?
Yep, raised mom and dad. I have an older brother, older sister.
Okay, cool.
I'm the youngest.
So what did you always want to be growing up as a kid?
Man, sounds crazy, but I wanted to be Major League Baseball player.
Really?
That was my thing. Basketball, football, that was my thing. I actually went to the Little League World Series.
Wow.
Yeah, people don't really know. And
that's dope.
But yeah, no, sports is my thing, and that's my hobby. That's what I love to do. Play video games, things like that.
Wow. So you went through high school playing sports?
Now the crazy thing about it is I played sports all the way through to freshman year.
Okay.
And kind of I'm more honest with myself. I was like, man, I'm not about to go to the major leagues. I'm not so I already had my passion. I was in the clubs, I would say in 5th grade, 6th grade. I already knew what I wanted to do. I was in the sports industry, music industry. I was on tour, I would say, middle school going to freshman year. I already knew what I wanted to do, and it was kind of heartbreaking for my dad. My dad wanted to see me go to the, play sports. The baseball coaches are waiting for me to,
that's
to
where
play.
all the money at.
Yeah, so that's where it's at.
Wow, man. The one thing I like when I see what you're doing, man, look like you're embracing the things and bringing people to the city, right? Like, one thing I like about how did you and Kodak Black link?
Man, Kodak. So I met Bill, I would say, man, 2 years ago. But I've when I have a relationship with these artists and these I would say celebrities, you would call them. These are people that I talk to every day. I check in to make sure their health is good. How's their mental and things like that. But me and Bill connected. I actually booked him for a party here in San Antonio after his concert, and he performed in my after party, and that's kind of how me and him built a relationship. And then a few weeks ago, we were at the Kentucky Derby, just hanging out and catching a vibe.
Wow, that's dope, man. Like I said, man, the thing I love about it, man, is when you look at hip hop, man, it has so many ways that it break down all the barriers, man, and bring culture together. You know what I mean? The music is something that we all can, pretty much get into, and it brings people together. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, and I'll tell you one thing, Bill Kodak, that's got to be one of my favorite people in the world. Wow. You see everything on the internet, but I'll tell you one thing, that man knows exactly what he's doing, what's going on. He's not what you think you see on the internet. It's all a game, and the man is probably one of the most brightest person I've ever met. This guy doesn't save no phone numbers. He can know who's calling him.
He's sharp.
Yeah, he's something else. Like it's crazy.
Tell me some jewels that he dropped to you that stuck with you forever.
He don't really drop no jewels, but I'll tell you one thing. This is on a personal level. He is bright. He knows left to right. He knows what happened 2 weeks ago. It's so crazy. It's insane. That guy is, people on the internet, that's what it is. They're worried about him. He's blasé, he's this, he's that. But no, the guy is special. He knows what's going on. It's the internet. He plays the game.
So going back to your dad, you said that your dad was disappointed whenever you wanted to switch from, being a baseball player and you now in entertainment. How long did it take him to jump on the bandwagon to start supporting you with your dream?
Man, so my dad, rest in peace. He's not with me no more. But he was with me from the start. So he believed in me. He followed my dreams. Like he was a part of whatever I wanted to do. If I wanted to play sports, he was there. From sun up to sundown. If I wanted to do the music or I wanted to do the club appearances or whatever I wanted to do, he was there with me, and he believed in me, and that's all that mattered. He's my best friend. He was my biggest supporter, and that he was there.
How important was your mom's role in your life growing up?
Man, I can't be here without my mom.
Of course.
My mom, she brought me into this world, and she was there with me working 3 jobs, following us to baseball tournaments, getting out of work and going to baseball practice and things like that. So, mom's has always been a big supporter. She's the only one I got left with me now. So making sure she's good. But yeah, mom's always been a big supporter.
That's dope. I always like to hear the mom and dad stories because that's your fundamental stages in a person's life to make you into who you are today.
Yeah, no, having a stable household, growing up, seeing a mom and, dad in your life, that's what makes things, I think prosper better.
And in today's society where you see so many broken homes, and you're coming from a home where it wasn't broken. Now, do you have kids?
Yeah, I just had a little daughter. She just turned 1.
Hey,
congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations, big dog.
She just turned 1.
How hard is it, you think, being able to replicate what your parents have in today's society?
Man, social media is crazy. That scares me the most. But just being a good person and just showing her, right from wrong, and just following my dad and my mom's steps. I don't have it all the way figured out, but every day I'm working, to figure it out and make sure that she doesn't have to worry, wake up and ever have to worry about anything.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow, man. So talk to me about when people think about music, and it's artists from down here like my boy Khalid, but what is hip hop in San Antonio?
Man, hip hop's a crazy place. It's actually, a lot of people have came from here and people don't really realize it, but you've had Austin Mahone doing arena tours, Ali Brooke, who was with Fifth Harmony, doing arena tours. We got the country, George Strait, there's music here. There's, we just gotta, people always think, I gotta move out of San Antonio or I gotta go here. But if you can't make it out of your own city, what makes you think you can go to LA where twice as many people are doing the same thing you're trying to do? So my thing about San Antonio is this: you can make it anywhere you go. You could go on TikTok, you can go on Instagram and upload a video. You could do that all from you. My state is, you can make it from here. That's why I believe I've never left. This is home. This is what I want to be the next LA. This is what I want to be the next Atlanta. It's all here.
So what are you doing to implement making it that? How do you
man bringing stuff you've never seen before? I had Travis Scott here on Final Four. I had him perform in a club for 1,000 people, and nobody would ever think that was possible. I brought Moneybagg Yo, a lot of talent that these markets get passed up. They don't ever come to San Antonio. They'll go to Austin or Houston or Dallas, but I tell these people, you got to come to San Antonio. There's stuff here. So bringing the main A-list artists to San Antonio and showing them, you could do it here too.
Talk to me about how you end up bringing Moneybagg Yo to San Antonio. How did you do it?
Relationships. My relationships are endless. I could get to the president, right, if I wanted to. I just have good relationships, and if it makes sense, and I got a lot of trust of people that are around me, that I got a lot of people who trust me and believe in me to make stuff like that happen and bringing it here.
That's hard, man, and that's the game. Like, so Travis Scott, again, I got to go back into that because you sped past it, but these are big names. Like, how did you end up linking to bring him? Is this
man? Trav, it's so funny. He went to UTSA. He went to school here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I brought it to his manager Beezy about possibly making it happen for Final Four, I did it during Final Four, and it was just, they were following the Houston college basketball team. They made it to the Final Four, so I thought it made sense, to bring him here and do something that people didn't think was possible to happen. He's doing crazy arenas and saying, hey, you want to perform at a club, and people thought I was crazy, but we're here.
Wow, the thing I like about it is that you're adventurous, man, that you don't mind going out on a limb and trying.
I like to take risks.
I like that.
I like being the underdog.
That's the signs of an entrepreneur.
And not scared to hear no.
I don't take a no for answer. I'll kick the door down.
I like that.
100%.
Man, so you know how podcasting is, man. We are people that basically came up here. Used to it was just radio stations, but now you got the podcasters, you got the bloggers. I mean, what do you think about it when it comes to getting the information out in media as a whole?
Man, I think about social media is I just hope that they I like positive news. Don't post when people are at the bottom. Post like the little things, the small things. Don't post stuff for clickbait. Like, I'm all about positivity, and I think that's what needs to be in the blogs more.
Wow.
But the thing about that, I always felt that way too. But since we started doing the podcast, and when you put positive stuff out there, you'll get like 2 views, no comments. And if you so that's why a lot of times. That's
how the world is. They feed off negativity.
And I can't stand that, honestly. I really can't. But that's why a lot of times it's how you word stuff to catch people to go in, but then you're going to give them the positive. You see what 100%. I mean? So you have to, so people don't realize it's a trick to it.
It's a game.
It's a game. It's a game, but it's a game where you can take it and spin it in a way to where you can get people to go into something positive, right? Mm-hmm. Like the other day, I interviewed Yugmouth when we was in LA. Mm-hmm. And when I interviewed Yugmouth, he basically said that, when him and Master P had got into it, Master P walks in, he didn't know he was coming. He grips his pool stick tighter. He was like, man, I ain't had nothing else because they had beef, and he didn't know how it was going to go.
Over the Ice Cream
Man song that they both did, and they was beefing over that. And I worded it in the title. Master P walked up on me, and I gripped my pool stick because that's what he said. Now, people that look at that would have thought that would have been negative, but really it was something just showing how they evolved from that situation, and 2 brothers came together and spoke of.
That's the headline.
That's how I hit them. But that's why Master P posted it too, was because he felt that, and he said 2 brothers could come together. And shout out to Master P
without beefing or anything like that.
Without beefing, but come together as 2 men and talk something out. And that's the thing. So if I had just said they just came together, nobody would have looked at that.
Nobody would look at it.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing. You know what I mean? But man, the deal, the thing I say about you, man, Lil Jay, man, is just, man, like I said, what you doing and how you dealing with just the whole, market and pulling people in here, man, for you to come on Boss Talk, man, and just show the love. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, man. You mentioned Sean Cotton, so you be watching that Say Cheese?
Yeah, I be Say Cheese. That's family. Of course.
Man, me and Sean go way back. Ever since I started this, he's been supportive of what we do. And to be honest with you, man, a lot of the youngsters, a lot of that's your peer. Like this is your
that's what
circle.
I follow.
Yeah, and I like that because, one thing about it, man, he's in Dallas, right? And you down here, but look how the internet work. Who are some other people that you watch? When you watching the waves of the internet?
No Jumper, Adam 22.
You watching No Jumper?
Our Generation Music, World Star.
World Star.
TikTok.
TikTok. See, TikTok. You ain't on that TikTok, is you?
Nah. But I be watching. I be scrolling conspiracy theories.
Man.
So whenever TikTok was supposedly was gonna go away,
man, that's not going away.
How did you feel? Were you one of those who?
Going away.
Oh, you were chill.
It's all talk.
Okay.
Too much money.
That's
wow.
True.
Money runs the world.
So how did they made it hiccup though? A lot of people.
Yeah, it went for like a day or 2.
Scared the hell out of somebody, right?
Man, that's how it goes. They want you to keep talking about it.
Where do you see, and I'll ask you something like where do you see media at far as these social media platforms? When we first came out, we seen MySpace, right? And then now we see basically Instagram, and we see Snapchat and Facebook and all these different ones. But then when they said that pretty much Instagram was TikTok was gonna go away, they started talking about some other ones, but they didn't come out.
They came up for a
they
little
didn't do
bit.
nothing.
The streamers are the new things. The streamers are the new things.
So the just
Kai
streaming.
Cenat,
You
you
like
know.
that? DDG?
Yeah, DDG. That's my guy. All them are my guys.
So are y'all gonna do something like that down here in San Antonio?
I leave the podcast to them. I leave
I'm
that
talking
to
about the
them.
streaming thing.
Streaming, that's them.
something different. That ain't what I do.
Yeah, that's them.
That's like you
their
walk
lane.
in. What is that? Like you walk in a house, right? Or you walk in a world and they just recording the whole thing, right?
It's a whole different ball game.
I know it, man. That tripped me out when I see it. I'm like, oh man, they done pulled the move. Something going on.
That's a whole different ball game. But hey, they killing it.
They
They
killing
are.
it.
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you. So how important is God in your life?
Man, I don't think I would be here without him. You know, because I've been through some stuff. You know, losing my father, and then having a little daughter, and just everything that's happened in my life. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for every step that I've made. Because it got me to where I am.
Okay, so the times that you can look back in your life and see where God pulled you through is what you just said with your dad.
100%, because I didn't think I would get out of it. I was in a super dark place. I lost him in a tragic accident,
Wow.
and he was
how
my best
long
friend.
ago?
3 years ago.
3 years
Wow.
ago.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
How long
bro.
did it take you to get over it?
I would say maybe a year. I mean,
A year?
it's like you don't ever get over it, but you just learn how to cope with it. But yeah, it took me a long time to just find myself again.
You found yourself questioning God at that time?
I found myself just questioning why, why things like that happen, but I feel like there's a reason for everything, and we just don't know it.
Wow.
Yeah, because you have a lot of people out here. I always ask about these things because there are people out here, sometimes even young kids, who are dealing with situations and don't know how to deal with it and probably take it in a negative way and go out here and do something stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So that's why-
I'll be an advocate. Like, I have a strong people behind me that, kept me pushing, and, I advise, like, hey, get therapy, get help, it's okay, if you need someone to talk to and things like that.
Because I always say this because this is something after COVID, after I lost my dad, I started looking at life like this because,
Yeah, I lost my father during COVID.
see, death is inevitable. It's going to happen, right? So it's something that we all have to prepare for. And it can happen, death has no age number to it. So we can lose anyone at any age. So how I look on death is when you're born into this world, God clock you in at this job called life. And when your job is done, no matter how old you are, he clocks you out. So I look at, and people will say to me, so what happened to that baby who just died at birth or whatever? I said, you don't know how many people that baby touched with a mom being pregnant. That mom probably could have been on drugs, stopped taking drugs, or somebody else saw her do something and they changed their life. We don't know how many people lives that child, unborn child, changed. You see what I mean? So even your dad, he probably touched so many people.
Yeah, no,
and helped so many people.
Yeah,
that
losing my father, like, even helped me be a better person.
Exactly.
And how to move and just carry myself as a person, because, you think about just leaving an impact, what would your father want? So
exactly. So that's how I look on it.
Wow. I want you to give me your top 3 artists of all time, dead or alive, any genre.
I say Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD?
Wow.
I was actually with
That's-
Juice when he passed.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Juice was he was way ahead of his time. Like,
And that was so.
seeing Juice, man, that he was just getting started.
Wow.
But for sure, Juice, Drake.
Number 3, any genre.
Chris Brown, Justin Bieber.
You threw a 4-1 in there.
So I threw him for. We can keep going.
Yeah, man. That's just something we asked. The top 3. What was the top 3 again?
Juice WRLD, Drake, and Chris Brown.
Chris Brown. Dope top 3, man. One thing I could ask you, man, if you could talk to your younger you, like, and say something, what would you say to the younger you?
Just keep going, no matter the roadblocks, whatever you got going on, just keep going. Kick the door down. Like, I'd never take any no's. You just never know when you're gonna get that one yes.
Wow, when you're gonna get that one yes, so you got to you can't let no stop you for sure.
Keep going.
Keep going.
What's the next move we can expect to see from you, whereas changing San Antonio?
Actually, this y'all getting a sneak peek, but I'm throwing up my first ever festival, San
Wow.
Antonio.
Wow.
a big, huge festival. You know,
What can we expect from it?
Something crazy. Nothing ever been seen before.
Is it this year?
Yes, cause this year.
Summer?
Working on it now.
Okay, like for like this summer?
This summer.
Okay.
It's on the way.
Okay.
Yep.
So we just have to keep watching you.
You guys are coming.
Okay.
You guys are invited.
That's all
Okay.
right. What does she keep holding up over here?
That's my foundation.
Okay, let's talk about
I
it.
just started
She wants you to talk about it.
I just started a foundation for my, after my dad and my father,
Wow.
father and my daughter.
Okay, what's the name of it?
Ram Heart Foundation.
Wow, and what? Okay, what was the? How did you start it?
Man, so I've always thought about, since I was a kid, I've been doing, I've been blessed, with my contacts, just anything. So I was, since I was a kid, I've always been about giving back and impounding, giving back to the city. So I do a Christmas toy drive during Christmas. I do a turkey drive during Thanksgiving. I do a back to school drive, backpacks, all that, and giving out shots, haircuts.
Wow.
I've always been about that. And I just did my first ever Easter egg hunt, for the kids. So yeah, I've always been about giving back and pouring into other people's, organizations. So I was like, hey, let's start my own. So that's when I just made my own, organization called the Ram Heart Foundation.
Congratulations, man, and that's big, homie. That's big to do something to give back, man. A lot of people, don't know how to start anything. Have never, we talk a good game, but to see you really, getting out there,
I'm really out here.
That's
I
nice.
I can't have all this and not get back to my community.
Wow.
And that's why I think.
Wow. So you said something earlier that kind of messed with me. You said the Juice World, like that you was with him the day that he died.
I want to say I was with him a week right before he passed away.
Wow.
Is it working?
No, you keep. I got 3 cameras on. Keep talking, man.
Yeah. So artist I found, I actually signed him. His name was Blake.
Okay.
He's an artist from out here, and Juice WRLD took him under his wing and took him on tour with him. His first tour, and we were touring with Juice, and man, he was a wonderful individual and one of the best people.
I hear a lot of good things about him.
Super talented, and God rest his soul, but he was super talented and one of the best people ever.
Wow.
Super talented.
Man, it's crazy how you link him with, it's a gift for God to let you link with all these people and build all these relationships, and they're organic.
Yeah, my story is crazy. I was in the clubs in, say, in 5th grade. I was doing high school parties, teen nights when I was in 6th, 7th grade.
Wow.
That's how I got started. I would do teen nights. Say there was Memorial Day on a Monday and there's no school over the weekend. So I would do teen nights, high school parties. We would get a club venue and we would sell sodas, popcorn, and just have a DJ and I'd pack out this place with like 1,200, 2,000 people and just have kids pay $15, $20. And my mentor, his name is Scott Maloof, actually gave me the game of doing this. But I'm like, hey, like, I'm bringing all these kids, but I'm only making $20, $30. Like, what's going on? So that's when I was like, during that time, I was like, man, I'm packing this place out, but what's next? And there was an artist at the time, his name was AJ Hearns. And he was on tour with Drake, Lil Wayne, but this was way before Instagram, anything. And I would sell his CDs, his mixtapes, go on tour with him and sell his t-shirts. But hey, I'm doing all this, but I need lunch money, So I'm doing all this and I'm not making any money. So I'm like, I really need to reevaluate. I'm about to go into 9th grade. I'm about to be a freshman. Like, hey, how can I start making money? So I left that gig behind me, and I actually met my mentor. He's played a big role in my life. His name was Sasha Stone. He actually he's the owner of Score More. He's actually the one that did the Astroworld Music Festival, things like that. Yeah, his name's Sasha. So Sasha, I would sell. Basically, what we would do, we did Kendrick Lamar with 80 people in the stands, or we did J. Cole with 200 people. So what I would do is I would sell tickets, and I'd make $2 off of every ticket I sold to these concerts. So I was a concert promoter. I was going into, freshman year selling tickets. And, I happened to meet the Spurs basketball players. I was a freshman, and, the basketball players, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, they're like, hey, like, we heard you're the person we got to talk to go to these concerts. So I started getting them into the concerts. And then I met George Hill. George Hill's playing for the Spurs at the time. George Hill was like, hey, like, yo, you're killing it. Like and I started running his basketball camps. And I'm going in 10th grade now. I'm running his basketball camps during the summer. We're doing basketball camp tours down south. So I started doing that, and I'm like, hey, like, you know, I'm making $2 after every ticket, but like, hey, I'm about to graduate soon. Like, what's next? And I happened to meet an artist named Logic. And Logic, I think I sold 200 tickets for him for his show. I sold 200 tickets. Mind you, I made $2 off every ticket I sold. And I was selling his tickets, and my job was called artist hospitality whenever the show actually happened. And what I would do is just ask them if, you know, they need anything. I happen to ask them, like, you need any chicks or you need any weed or anything? And he just, like, Logic was like, yo, like, you my guy. So he actually told me, like, graduate high school, I'm gonna give you a job one day. Wow. And so did Kendrick Lamar. He told me the same thing. I'm like, man, like, whatever, we'll see if that really happens. And I actually posted my diploma on Twitter, and Logic DM'd me, and he was like, hey, like, you go make sure you go get your passport, and I'm gonna fly you to LA, and you're gonna be my assistant. And that's kind of how everything started, you know, from there.
Yeah, that's hard, man. That's favor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's favor, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope, man. You didn't hear from Kendrick?
No, I never heard.
Damn.
But that's the big homie. I mean, I'm sure he remembers me.
No, for sure. Yeah.
I gotta ask. So, who did you get that? Because that personality that you have to be able to go out there and talk to all these people and create that. Who looking at your mom and dad? Where did you get that personality from?
I think it's just always been. I've always been a go-getter. Just knowing.
So it's just natural.
Since I was a kid, I think my mom used to say I would always say my name was Hollywood. So I think just being a kid and just being hungry. You know, all my friends are always older than me, and just, you know, carrying myself and just knowing one day I want to be them, or saying I'm gonna be that. You know, I think that's really what it is.
Because I guarantee you have a lot of people who come to you and say, how do you get to meet it? How can I be that person? How can I do that?
Every day.
So how can you tell them? What do you tell them?
I said keep kicking the door down until someone tells you that yes. I tell people all the time, like, hey, like, if you want to be something, go work at the restaurant where all the artists or all the athletes are working at, all the business, all the CEOs are working at. Go be a valet at the biggest hotel, or, you know, go work at where all the jet airport. You know, go work at those places that you see people that you want to be in that job, and just go learn and meet these people, and that's all it's about.
And talk to them, yeah.
Exactly, definitely. And see how they can be that.
Yeah.
Wow, man, you definitely a very inspiring young man, and I know a lot of people that watching you trying to figure this thing out. You've been planting something in them, just speaking on Boss Talk 101. So I thank you, man.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Tell me, how can people get a hold of you if they're trying to reach out, man?
Lil Jay on all social medias. Google Lil Jay, Liljay, and Instagram. I am Lil Jay, IAMLILJAY.
Wow, man. Thank you so much, man. Top 3 producers of all time.
Man, you got to go ATL Jacob. ATL Jacob. Carter on the Wings. And 40.
Already 40. I knew you were going to go there, man. Check it, man. Thank you so much, man. We love you, brother. Lil Jay, man, you've been on Boss Talk 101, man. It's going down.
Anything we left out?
No, thank you guys for having me.
Okay. I want to make sure that we got it all.
Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
And we out.
Love.